Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for March 13, 2024. And in the news this evening, DCP Kevin Blake to be appointed police commissioner. Deputy Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake will be the new Commissioner of Police of Jamaica and will assume the role next Tuesday, March 19. Dr. Blake currently heads the Development and Logistics portfolio in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. His pending appointment was confirmed by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. Dr. Blake will succeed Major General Anthony Anderson, whose contract expires on March 18. While asserting that all 4 deputy commissioners had the capacity to be appointed to the top post, the Police Service Commission determined that DCP Blake was the best prospect to lead the force at this point in time. He said the administration operates approached the search for a new police commissioner on a strict no-objection basis, as long as a prospective appointee was not someone who the government had no confidence in. In this case, he said, we had no problem with the 4 deputies who were all interviewed for the job of police commissioner, and therefore it was up to the Service Commission to review their career, review their CV, and make a recommendation. Accordingly, he declared, we have no problem accepting Dr. Kevin Blake as the next Commissioner of Police.
This morning, I received a copy of a letter appointing Dr. Kevin Blake as the new Police Commissioner, effective March 19, 2024. Means the current Commissioner terms of contract ends on Monday the 18th. Dr. Blake is one of the Deputy Commissioners, and all 4 Deputy Commissioners were interviewed and looked at, because I think we have reached a level in the force where the promotional process is such that the individuals who rise to the top all have the capacity to go forward. And we had 4 deputies who I think were excellent police officers. They were interviewed, and the Service Commission identified Dr. Kevin Blake, who is among the younger deputy commissioners, as the best prospect to lead the force at this point in time. I said all 4 men that we have confidence in, but we gave the Service Commission the opportunity to interview, examine their CVs, their background, the required due diligence and intelligence reports to see who it was there. Government operates on a strict no objection basis. Yes, to agree, you would not want to appoint a commissioner who the government had no confidence in. We had no problem with the 4 deputies, and therefore it was up to the Services Commission to review their career, review their CVs, as I said before, and make a recommendation. And we have no problem in accepting Dr. Kevin Blake as the next Commissioner of Police.
Opposition welcomes appointment of Kevin Blake as a new police commissioner. The opposition has welcomed the appointment of Deputy Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake as the new Commissioner of Police. Blake will take over on March 19, replacing Major General Anthony Anderson, whose contract expires on March 18. In a statement today, the opposition said it will be carefully observing his performance in the new role. The opposition also uses the occasion of this appointment to remind the new commissioner that the JCF Act gives a sole operational superintendence of the force to the commissioner, while policy is the purview of the minister or cabinet, and in some cases, like extending a state of emergency to Parliament. We therefore caution him not to involve the JCF in public advocacy for matters that the Constitution reserves for Parliament and on which there is no political consensus. It further appealed for professionalism and impartiality in the operation of the force. As we approach an election season, we also reminded the Commissioner that it is especially important that the JCF be seen as an impartial and a professional force whose operations should support the democratic process rather than one party or another's interest. Mutilated bodies of 2 men found along Dunbeholden Main Road. 2 unidentified men were discovered murdered in the vicinity of a pump house along Dunbeholden Main Road, St. Catherine on Wednesday. They were found face down with gunshot wounds and partially severed necks. Their hands and feet were bound, and they were clad in shorts and without shirts. The Major Investigations Division was alerted after residents stumbled upon the gruesome scene around 7:30 a.m. The victims appeared to be in their late 20s or early 30s, of dark complexion and about 5 feet 8 inches tall. MID has launched an investigation into the murders. 40-year-old woman charged for allegedly stealing baby from KPH premises. 40-year-old Sushana Greenfield of Oxford Street, Kingston, has been charged with child stealing in relation to the abduction of 11-day-old Kimoya Robe from the compound of the Kingston Public Hospital on Monday. The Denham Town Police say about 10:05 a.m., Greenfield approached the wheelchair-bound mother of the child and offered to assist her with the baby at the Kingston Public Hospital. The mother then handed her the baby. However, while talking, Greenfield left, claiming she would return momentarily. The mother attempted to stop her, but Greenfield left with the baby and did not return. A report was made and the compound was checked. However, there were no signs of the infant or Greenfield. Later the same day, about 3:35 p.m., police, acting on information, went to Northumberland Lane, Kingston 16, where the baby girl and Greenfield were found. She was subsequently arrested and charged on Tuesday. A court date is being finalized. 2 arrested at the Kingston airport after $70,000 found concealed in hair products. The police are reporting that 2 Jamaicans, a man and a woman, were arrested at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston on Tuesday in relation to the seizure of over $70,000 concealed in jars with hair products. They are being held on reasonable suspicion for breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Their names are being withheld pending further investigations. The police report that about 5:20 p.m., the 2 Jamaicans arrived at the airport on a flight from the Turks and the Caicos Islands. During security screening, anomalies were observed in their luggage, according to the police. They say a search led to the discovery of $39,828 and $30,460 concealed in jars with hair products. Both were subsequently arrested. Clarendon man charged for allegedly stealing licensed firearm left in restroom. A Clarendon man was on Tuesday charged for allegedly stealing the gun of a licensed firearm holder from a restroom in a business establishment in Mineral Heights. Charged with simple larceny of a firearm, possession of prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition is 27-year-old taxi operator Kevanta Cole of Morse District. His court date is being finalized. The police report that about 2:20 p.m. on Friday, March 1, a man used the restroom at the establishment and left his assigned firearm atop the tissue holder. The police say he later discovered that he was not in possession of the pistol. He returned to the location, but it was not seen. The police were summoned and the CCTV footage within the establishment was reviewed. Cole was allegedly observed entering the restroom and then leaving with something concealed at his waistband without collecting what he had ordered at the business place. Following an operation, Cole was taken into custody on Friday, March 8. He was charged after being positively identified on an identification parade on Tuesday, March 12. The charges were subsequently laid against him. Opposition concerned public procurement changes could enable fraud. The parliamentary opposition is concerned that the changes that are coming to the public procurement process could open the door to fraud. During his budget presentation on Tuesday, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said after review of the Public Procurement Act 2015 and its regulations, the ministry has proposed amendments to the legal and institutional framework. Dr. Clark said the changes include the revision of the thresholds below which procuring entities can adopt more nimble contracting procedures, leading to increased pace of contract formation. He said, for example, the government will increase the threshold below which a single-source procurement is permissible from $1.5 million to $3 million.
Madam Speaker, in addition, we're going to be moving the limits required for procurement, for public procurement committee approval from $30 million to at least $60 million. So we're going to be empowering procuring entities to have more autonomy and to award higher value contracts without need for external approval. These things will speed up the pace at which the government can deliver.
But the opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, said while he acknowledges the need for streaming procedures and using technology to aid in the country's development, there are significant worries regarding the integrity and the potential for fraud in this proposal. Mr. Robinson said the government should outline the mechanisms that will be in place to ensure a smooth transition to the new public procurement process.
We want to be assured that the integrity of our procurement process remains in place and that there will be no loopholes for persons to benefit corruptly from the awarding of government contracts. In this regard, we are calling for the government to publish all contracts over $10 million on our website. When the former Contractor General existed, we had a quarterly publication of contracts so that there could be transparency and openness as to who received government contracts. That process has not been continued with the Integrity Commission. We believe it's incumbent on the government to put that data in the public domain if we're going to be changing and relaxing procurement rules.
Former chairman of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Dennis Chong, has welcomed the changes to the procurement process. Speaking Wednesday on the news, Mr. Chong described the process as a pain point, adding that the cost of the procurement process on productivity is tremendous.
I'll give you a live example. When we were having a problem with the garbage collection, we needed the garbage trucks in the system like yesterday. But because of the procurement rules, the emergency process took 9 months to get the garbage trucks here, right? In the meantime, right, person's garbage wasn't being collected. There was risk of health issues and all of those things, right? And because we're waiting on procurement process, and what happens is that we ended up with the trucks that we thought were the best trucks, right? What we need to do is that we need to do audits after, and if persons are found guilty of breaching a process, give them some heavy penalties. That is the way to deter it, but I certainly welcome it.